So in lieu of that, I just want to make it very clear that once we get the okay from the state and the intermunicipal agreement is agreed upon, that resolution can go forward. I did not want to take any more time away from the fact that potentially another month would deter that happening. So that's why I put forth the resolution today with those guidelines that need to be put into effect before it happens. So just clarifying. So there's a resolution, there's a motion on the table for Matt. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second for Mr. Dittus. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff.
And I did speak to the, to the old, Hurley Fire Department here, and potentially this is something that they'll be looking to, look into when, once they get all their development and stuff done and all their digging and
Good.
infrastructure. Maybe we can help them out too. Works all around. Okay. I have resolution to hire a new assessor's clerk. So currently we have the assessor, we hired a part-time individual just for the season. That person will be going back to her fuller, longer hours, I should say, where she assesses across the river. But in the meantime, I'm not going to pull her off of our, we have 2 lines that we can have an assessor's aide. So just in case something happens, I'm going to keep her there. We're not paying her unless her hours come in. But just in case something happens with this new assessor's aide, or or we need help, we have keep her there. So moving forward, resolution to hire the new assessor's aide. Whereas the current assessor's aide only agreed to work temporarily, and whereas the assessor interviewed new applicants, and whereas the assessor chose Charlene Roy Corneliuson, pardon if I messed that up. And whereas Ms. Roy Corneliuson was approved by the Ulster County Planning Department, therefore be resolved to hire Charlene Roy Corneliuson to the assessor's aide position as of September 9th, 2019, to work approximately 8 hours per week at the $11.80 per hour rate. Motion by myself. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Davis? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, so doing some of the, this was an add-on. I also apologize to the bunch of these resolutions. This came in today from Mike. In this resolution, I was sitting with the CPA, and I really feel if I'm going to try to warrant the employees of the town increases and raises, I would like to have some type of stipulation that gives us the determining factor for that to happen. In our handbook, our town handbook, rules and regs, there's supposed to be a performance appraisal each year done. That has not been done since I've been here. So I'm putting forth a resolution not only to have it done, but to have it done by a certain timeline so that I can budget correctly based on the appraisal of the individual employees and their head of the department. So, move forward with the resolution to set an annual date for employee performance appraisal. Whereas the Town of Hurley Employee Handbook, Section 404, outlines the guidelines for an annual employee performance appraisal, and whereas the Supervisor's Office developed a form using a sample, and it is kind of simple, provided by the Ulster County Personnel Department, and whereas the handbook calls for the Town Board to set a specific annual date for the evaluation to be accomplished by. Therefore, be resolved for the annual employee evaluation date to be September 30th, 2020, and September 30th each subsequent year, with the exception of this year, 2019, when the department heads will have until October 15th, 2019 to complete them. So, any questions? No? Okay, motion was made. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Bonds? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. A lot of these hard-working people around here deserve some.
Yeah.
So, good people. We want to make sure that that's taken care of on board. Mr. Urban, you're here for Mr. Schultz tonight, representing. That's what I was told in an email. So just some minor questions, I think that maybe. Some of the things Mike did answer. Truck 12, I know he stated there was another leak for the some type of cooling system that they weren't aware of, so it's still out of commission.
Still out of commission. I'm hoping we'll have it ready for the winter. Yeah, that's how I feel. This was an unexpected situation. Mick, the mechanic, couldn't figure out why all of a sudden the oil level increased in the engine, and it had been recently serviced. So,
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. And
yeah, it's
man, oh man,
it's in maybe hands of
it's been out for almost 3 months now.
almost
2.5 months. All right. Paving of the roads updates. How we doing?
Chestnut, Laurel, and Edgewood. We did a T&L / temporary repair on the roads, so they are much better than they were, to cover up all the drainage that had been done. All the roads are secure now.
Good, good. With the upcoming school coming into effect here, we want to make sure the kids are safe.
Right.
So
And for
I know
anybody
Mike made
driving the roads.
take note of that. The field paint. No, you guys are getting ready
Slated for Wednesday
Wednesday.
to
Oh, wow.
go back to do more repairs and
Okay.
paving on that.
Well, if you can give me that confirmation, and I'll send an email to Mike also, so we can put it on our website. We can notify the good folks on field paper that this is happening and a date that it's happening.
I'll have him get back to you on that.
I appreciate it. Sweeper, we know that's back in. Everything's good. Peshmead, everything's good there. We already dealt with the firehouse paving. Rail trail update repairs. And the roof repairs. Now the roof repair, if I'm not mistaken, we're still waiting for a date to start and complete.
As from what I read, yes, I haven't had any discussion with Mike on any more
Okay.
completion date or even start date on when we're gonna do it. The only thing I got was what I read in the paper.
Okay. All right. So we'll keep on that. And, that's important, especially with these tremendous downpours we've been having lately.
Yeah.
Okay. You have anything to present for the highway?
No, I don't.
Okay. Mike?
Good. No, I'm good.
Mr. Davis? Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, bud. The building inspector update. So one of the things I have, unfortunately Glenn was not feeling well, but I did want to make note that the building department has increased its rating by 1. So we get the building code enforcement rating gets done each year by ISO. This is internal incorporation. I just want to read this out. So the previous year, the town was test level was building code enforcement. Our survey results in a class 5 for residential building and class 5 for commercial building construction in or after that year. So that was last year of 2018. So basically, it's a reading of 1 to 10. 1 being the best. So 5 we're middle of the road. So this year, we've upgraded to a 4 out of 10. So we moved up 1 and a 2 to the family residence. So 4 for commercial, 2 for family residence property. So we've really increased. I pay tribute to the hiring of full-time at Dawn, as well as Glenn really getting out there and doing his due diligence, enforcing the codes, and making our town safe. Some of the things that will be coming forth with this will be a highlighted fact sheet that will determine exactly how we can even improve more so. So this is something that we'll keep an eye on and keep pushing forward. More good news. You're going to love this one. A monthly energy production report for the town. This is something new that Judy actually provided for us. I've never seen this before, but this is amazing. So with our solar panels based on the backside of the town board, or the town hall, basically for the month of June, for the month of July, we had a total of savings, energy production of 3.93 megawatts. Previous month was 3.58 megawatts. To year, we're at 20.5 megawatts. So for the month of July, your carbon offset was 2.72 tons, which equates to saving 70 trees. So, I mean,
This is in 1 month.
this is 1 month. So, Mike, I know this is something we're moving forward with the transfer station. We put, the 100,000 that we got back from the grant, and we're gonna make this town 100% green. I want to bring up the Eagle Scout project. I spoke a little bit about it at the agenda meeting. I want to make it clear that the town park needs some help. We had a beautiful wedding up there. I think that we can even push it out more. I'd like to get some of those photos to potentially sell the fact. I'd like to get the Hurley Lions Club to maybe get like a gazebo. I got a really good idea, like a half-open gazebo. Wait till you see the photos from the wedding. Dude, I'm telling you, it'll be good.
We're thinking more along the lines of gazebo on the rail trail,
Okay.
when that opens up,
28.
out in West Hurley.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's down the road.
Down the road. Well, I'm right here. All right. So I'll keep fighting for
Match
that.
that early gazebo on the
Yeah,
rail trail.
yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. So anyway, so I think we'll talk about that. We need to increase our town park and its accessibility. Get the town, people out there really utilizing it. So one of the Eagle Scout projects are going to be a refurbishing of the complete trains, the wood trains that are there right now. They're pretty cable. So one at a time, this young scout is going to take it down, work with his grandfather, who's a woodworker, recreate it, and place them back in 100% brand new. This is going to be phenomenal. I also have some other scouts working on bat boxes to be incorporated at the town park. Those of you who've been up there and have done multiple things, I know we used to have Little League up there and soccer. It used to be called Bug Hill for a reason. So I'm thinking this is a great way to incorporate the continued growth population of the bats as well as reduce our insect population. So that's another project that the Boy Scouts are going to be working for us at the town park. I had a meeting with the CAC, Open Space Plan, GLAM, in reference to establishing what's taking effect up at the, some environmental issues up at the West Hurley school and area around. So one of the things is that I need clarification on what exactly the infrastructure is that the drainage that goes from the West Hurley school to the 8-inch piping that leads out to the culvert to 28 and then goes all the way across 28 out into the opposite side of 28 over by the rail trail. So in doing so, I requested the state give me some kind of indication of what it is. So two things. One, they're going to actually go, not only show us where it is, we're going to have like a field day. We're going to go there and actually learn about how it works, where it is. They're also going to take and they're going to clean out all the drainage structures on and along the Route 28 corridor to help assist in the drainage there. So that's key one, and then from there we can kind of get a better assessment of how potentially any development that takes place out there can log into that and potentially offset any kind of stormwater retention systems and help reduce the overflow and stormwater issues out there currently and for the future. So that's good news. So Spectrum, everyone is aware that currently the town has been awarded the build-outs. Everybody and anybody that does not have cable in the West Hurley, specifically the West Hurley area, Old Hurley, the only location with steel tape, they've already gotten it. Should go on to the website and look into exactly if they're qualified. Mike brought up a point, I'm sure you'll reiterate, that we're going to move forward and try to get any persons that are not on that list By the way, the list is www.bldlkup.com. Lookup, abbreviation for buildlookup.com. That are not on there, we would like to know so that we can try to contact Spectrum and, add them to that list of build outs.
For what? For what?
Well, this is for cable, but primarily once you have cable, you have internet.
Okay, but we only have internet with them, we don't have cable with them.
That's fine. You don't have to. You can have either or, but the main thing is that broadband being brought to the people's houses of Doug Hill, primarily 28A. We currently have build out.
Oh, the people who've never had it, okay.
Correct.
All right, because
So-
it was a little confusing
Yeah,
saying that we
yeah.
all have to get Spectrum. I don't want Spectrum.
The folks that currently don't have it,
Oh, okay.
that they don't see themselves on this link, this website, we're going to request that they let us know so we can add them.
Oh,
We can
okay,
get
so
this
it's
down.
not, so it doesn't matter if we have
No,
just.
if you have, you're good.
Okay,
Yep.
that's all I want to know.
Yep, nope, you're awesome, so that's okay. But for the folks that don't have it, this build out is, huge for the town of Hurley. And, Mike and I work extremely hard, and I think this is a
You don't do it everywhere and build that way you can.
So we potentially, as long as this franchise agreement looks acceptable, potentially you'll be hearing for a, public hearing to move forward to establish that. Question?
Hey, John, yeah, I live in Flanders Lane in West Hurley, and for 15 years they've had spotty service with internet from Spectrum. Is there anything we can do to hold them a little bit to the fire to make sure their existing infrastructure is good? I can barely work from home some days.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting are you getting a slow internet or slow,
And I
everything
use the
slow?
VPN for work. You can see it drop out all the time. Lots of
You
dropouts.
can't get fiber optic.
Yeah, I mean, from a town point of view, I don't know if there's anything we can do. You have rights based on the package you have. You're entitled to that type of upload and download speed.
Yep.
If that's not there, then you can, forward to the state commission, again, public commission, public service commission.
I think it was January, February, I had them come out 4 times in a month because it just,
What would they say?
oh, they said it's fine now.
What was the problem though?
Oh, it's a connection, it's something.
It rained.
Every time it rains, then they claim it's something in the street.
This has been going on for ages.
That's right, we
Yeah.
sent a letter last week saying down at West Hurley that, yeah,
That's
we
why we
noticed your
dropped
resolutions
cable.
will be prepared.
But I mean,
I feel sorry for you,
yeah.
especially when people don't have anything like that.
So- You didn't get that.
Ah, now we know why. Now we know why, Mike.
Oh, yes.
But so we're gonna make that announcement, and Mike, you can speak on a little more of that. So potentially we'll have a public hearing on that in the next couple of months to move forward. One of the things I also would like to revisit in the next couple of months is our short-term rental. Right now, Woodstock is presently put forth a resolution, so we'll see where they go with that. Theirs is much different than ours, they have, but anyway, so we'll be revisiting that as well. New business, anything else? That's all I have for me. Matt?
Well, I want, if you know of anybody, any person, any resident that doesn't have Spectrum or cable, well, Spectrum,
Right.
they should, the website is, as John mentioned,
Say it again?
bldlkup.com, buildoutLookup.com, and just put in your address and it'll tell you whether you are getting it or not. And if you're not getting it, if you don't have Spectrum and you're not on that list, let us know, because we're going to get the whole town, capability of having
Internet, broadband, high speed. So,
Is it gonna be high speed?
Yep.
Yeah, that's high speed.
yeah, it's a little more costly, I don't know, sometimes you don't really use it while you
But I'm saying, okay,
Get your phone.
I got my phone.
Sure.
You guys had a moratorium committee meeting this last week,
Mhm.
and there was talk about doing an underwater capacity test for the school area.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're planning and
So
who,
I-
the neighbors you need to be participating?
Right, I did not get any feedback yet from the engineers. So what happens is, the water results came back from the developer. They came back, I guess with an okay reading, which is not okay necessarily for us and the people that are living out there. So what I did is I requested town engineer to put forth another water test poll at the longest amount of time that we can do, I think 72 hours, with the request of any and all residents, not just 200 feet from it, but any and all residents have the ability to monitor their system, have a monitor on their system. Currently, a couple people that we spoke to, they're kind of opting out, as far as the monitoring, but we haven't put forth that, because, like I said, so one of the questions that went to our engineer was that exact question. I have not gotten any response back to a timeline. My request was not only the maximum pull time, but also I would like it to have it done between now and mid-September, when would be the driest time of the year, and we would want those indications then.
Do we know we know the Cedar Street area, we get it, their wells, however, do we know if it would be affecting the wells on the other side of 375, like, our number
Right, that's
3
why
and
I
4?
opened it up to anybody that would be willing to have a monitor on their well. I'm going to open
I
it
don't
up.
know anything about it, but it should be.
So we have a comprehensive review meeting that we've had several meetings now. I have multiple people from the town. We have town residents that make it. Toby couldn't be there this time. I don't know where you are, but so we've had multiple meetings, and we're basing, this is kind of the foundation of what we're looking to do. CAC in the open space plan are actually evaluating all environmental areas of the town, putting them over on our zoning. With that, we're going to see where we need to address and change our zoning, update it. Also, we've also put forth 7 pages of structures that potentially could be part of a multi-complex dwelling multi-family could be anybody's house, but multi-complex dwellings, for example. You have the other Meyer School here, you have any other structure that potentially could fit the build out, which could happen what's happening now. So then we're prepared. I'm also extending that to large areas of property that are not in the 4-acre development areas, so that we know that any environmental issues pertaining to that area will address, maybe change them to a 2.5, to a 4-acre, or not allow certain things at all, based on the open space plan as well. So this is going to help tremendously. It's primarily environmentally correct. It's safe development, not just for the one areas in which we're dealing with right now, but the town as a whole for now and in the future.
So this is a town-sponsored initiative, and we would be getting more information if those of us on the other side, 375, our wells could be potentially.
Sure.
So what's in terms of the rollout? What can we expect? I mean, I heard about this accidentally.
Right. Well, I don't have any information. I haven't gotten any answers back. The only answer I got back was to clean out for the 28 from the engineers. So the due diligence needs to be done. They just, as well as I, received some of the information from the developers that this was that their secret, some of their secret environmental stuff came back positive in reference to there was no issues with the water pulls, there was no issues with the water contaminants, things of that nature. Traffic study was fine. These are things that have all come to light that'll be at the planning board meeting. So in September, that'll potentially be at the September meeting.
John, I'm sorry, just from what you just said. You said that there were no problems.
No.
Right.
With the water
So,
pulls.
but you use the word positive usually.
Right, negative, it'd be a negative back, right, right.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't want to
Make sure
I don't want to
yeah.
confuse you.
Yeah,
So-
thank you.
I'm still confused.
Mr. Perry, I believe last planning board meeting, there was an issue with the traffic study, and there
Yes.
was a question about the water, and there
Right.
need to be a water tower, because that building would require sprinkler system under the current code, which
Right.
Glenn confirmed,
Yep.
and so that sounds to me like there is a problem.
Again,
Yeah.
these are things that were brought to the engineer, they're brought to the developer, they will have to answer those questions. I don't have those answers, and I have not been given those answers. So until I have those answers, I can't come forward with them.
Also endangered species on that property, botanicals
I
and
also,
wildlife.
Isn't there a outstanding speedies?
Oh, outstanding,
Issue.
there is a speedies permit that was put out there, I have
You
not seen
have
the
to see
result
a
of that.
copy of it from anybody.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
The school placed a sign next to the outflowing pipe in the woods that goes into a stream that goes to the Sawkill Creek that states that anybody has question about speeds permit number such and such to contact the Iowa school.
Okay.
I don't understand that when the state holds the permit.
And when the state was asked about it, they said there was none
Have
issued.
their own.
The state
I
said there
heard
was no
this was in
speedy
litigation.
permit issued. I asked them.
So that was one of the questions I inquired with the engineer. Is there any docs for the septic discharge available, maybe the school district? Again, I have not gotten that back, but as soon as I get it, all this information will make.
Also, I read in the Freeman a while back that this permit was held back. And the school, while it was still in operation, was handing the state a check for the permit every year.
Right. Yeah,
Thinking under false pretense that they had a permit because they must have got a canceled check back.
Right. Yeah, I know there's tremendous amount of things out there that have not been brought to light, so there's a lot of questions.
So
Well,
there is
that would be one of
problems.
the most key
There are problems. obviously.
components
I
of
agree.
this.
I agree. So a lot of these things, as we're moving
Without
forward,
that, we
obviously
can't
we
go.
have the moratorium in effect. Nothing can be done until these questions are answered.
Okay, but I have a question about monitoring the wells on Cedar Street in West Hurley. I have not heard anything about monitoring our wells.
I'm requesting it now.
Okay.
So
So-
I'm requesting another well pull.
But they
water
can't do
pull.
our well because our well is,
Subgrade.
it's
They
subgrade.
said that they don't want to remove the sanitary cap on any subgrade wells when they first did the testing of the well when they put it in.
And I'm really
That's
worried
from
about
the
that.
From the hydrologist.
Yeah,
I spoke to him personally. He said, "Is your well subgrade?" I said, "Yes." He said, "We would prefer not to disturb the sanitary cap on that well." And you have a lot of houses in that area with sanitary caps on subgrade,
so how can you test the wells?
except for all the newer buildings.
Well, I think, so he said he wouldn't recommend it. You can still give him the
You
okay
could,
to do that.
yes.
So it's, again,
Who's
it's
gonna
back on
dig
the
it up?
property
Who's gonna
owners.
dig it up?
And who's gonna pay to have it done?
Well, if there's a problem, then they would be responsible for it.
Yeah.
But they have to dig it up. Who's gonna pay to do that?
So in the
This
meantime,
is
I'm
the developer.
subject
This
to,
is their responsibility. They have to perform these tests
so
and monitor.
if I okay it, then I'm subject to polluting or disturbing my water. And then what?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
If they don't seal it properly, which I'd rather just leave it the way it is, but if I have to monitor it, since my well is the closest next to
Right.
the school.
one other house, to the new well that they put in.
I'll,
And I knew I lost some pressure the last time they did the test.
Okay, let me, I'll inquire. This is all I can do.
just,
Because
I'm bringing
I
this
wanna
to
know.
light because these are things that need to be.
Right. I mean, this is, again,
Brought out.
these are questions for the planning board, particularly the town board.
understood.
I'll look into it, definitely.
We'll be at the
Permit is the
planning-
biggest
We'll be at
concern
the
I have.
planning board
And I'll make
meeting.
sure that
That's-
I also transfer this over to the planning board, so they have the questions as well.
When is the planning board's next meeting? Do you have any idea?
It's the first Thursday of the month.
Oh, won't be.
First Monday.
First Monday, I'm sorry,
Oh, first Monday?
The Thursday's the same.
They didn't meet in August, so we just,
So it's
But not Labor Day.
but not Labor Day, so.
Okay. The 9th?
The ninth.
Everything's fine.
Oh, good, okay. But we could make.
So hopefully more of your questions can be answered.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I have a question about the culvert on Flanders that was flooded with the diesel and oil from
Mhm.
the burning truck.
right.
There's still a strong smell, John, and that.
So we went up, we met with Mike.
Did you smell it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
100%.
insane. It's
So I know
intense.
that DEC is, they're gonna be up there with backhoes, they're taking that whole system out, they're gonna be replacing it. I can only imagine what they're gonna have to do along the roadbed, but where it comes down to the catch basin, they're going all the way into the woods, they're digging that all out, and that's all gonna be replaced.
Yeah, because the
As per
gal
the
back
DEC.
there said that she smells oil when it rains. She smells oil in her backyard. She's down on Holland where that stream comes out onto Holland,
Yeah, we went
near the
down
end
there
of
too.
Holland.
Mike took
We
us-
walked.
Yeah, Mike took us.
Yeah,
to the
so
road.
so you smelled it. Yeah,
She's
it's pretty
always
strong.
in
It's a strong odor.
So I know DEC has a work order out to provide backhoe to get in there, and they're gonna, along with, I think, a private contractor, to, that's currently been, I guess, doing some stuff there. They're digging that all out.
Then what do
It's
you
gonna
do
be
with
all
the
ready.
dirt?
Great, thank you.
They have, if it's contaminated
supposed
dirt,
to
they have to
be.
remove it.
They
It
just-
has to be taken to a special
They take it to
facility.
that place in Songers.
So,
To the beach?
Take it to.
anything else?
That Greek fort.
You talked recently about the social media policy.
Sure.
And I wonder if there's a policy about cell phone use by town officials? Are there official cell phones that have been issued to the town that have archiving availability, or have they been, are they used for
So
town
any
officials'
personal
business?
device, if used for town purposes, can be archived and it can be taken and used for FOIL.
But, I mean, that happens, so are they archived? Are you doing town business on the cell phones?
I can only speak for myself, and yes, I do. I reply back to my emails all the time, and I do it via phone as much as I can, as fast as I can, so that I get back to everybody as quickly as possible.
And those are all archived?
They're archived right here. Nothing on my cell phone doesn't come here.
Correct.
Anything that's on my cell phone comes here, goes to our server, everything is archived. I don't get anything that does not come here. So, yeah. So archived to that point, yes.
Same with
So
me
if I
too.
erase my phone, for example, it doesn't get erased here. I have to come back in and do everything all over again.
Same with me too, it's all through, it's email via my phone, I'm just using my phone to answer my
But
John
it's through the
Hurley
system.
email, which is being
Correct.
retained here.
Yeah.
But not text.
I don't text anybody, but
Correct.
correct, that's why we really try to use the email and the town email, because then we do have a record of everything.
Okay. I have approximately 8:06. I'd like to make a motion to close tonight's meeting.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dittis. All in favor?
Bye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
See you at the West Hurley Town Hall.
What is that about?
I have it every year. I have it 2 a year. So basically what it is like they come together.
No, I'm not gonna be there, I just wanted to.